What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to another Monday live stream. My name is Guillaume. Thank you very much for spending some time with me today, where we're going to take a look at some interesting stuff happening in the world of live sound and more broadcasts. It's like everything is slowly coming together. Broadcast, in-ear monitoring, live front of house shows, it all start to became one thing, where in the past it used to be, you have your sound truck to do like your streaming on a different split and everything. So I'm really curious to see what you guys are thinking of the new Yamaha DM7. Yeah, I don't know if you remember, I said something about hold on, let me pop up my chat so I can read what you guys are saying. There we go. I don't know if you guys remember what I said about the DM3, which was the smaller version. I was like, this is great. If I can get like a double the size DM5, it would be a awesome console to run. I don't think Yamaha listened to me. I think Yamaha did their own thing and had already in the pipeline a DM7, which makes total sense. Seriously. What they give out now, the expendability of the console, cost-wise, we're in a really different ball game than the Wing, or it's going towards the more high-end market, and I want to hear your opinion about that, because usually Yamaha console are really good, middle of the range, average console, sounds really good, have a lot of feature, but are not really high-end. They are high-end console, mid-range to high-end console. Where do you think the DM7 is landing on that one? Drinking Gatorade also today, because it's been really hot outside, and today actually I was doing a filming session this morning. So this is why the console is not set up. The Wing is not back there. It's currently on the first floor of my house. Not being used this morning, but being used on tour, and I did not have time to set it up once I came back yesterday in the afternoon. I had some stuff to get ready, so rushed that out, and it's gonna leave tomorrow because I got a show tomorrow where I need it. And on Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, and no, Saturday I'm going in Ontario with it. It's shows, man. I'm doing too many right now. Honestly, I need to take a break. I'm doing too many shows. But let's talk about console. Let's not talk about me. But first, let me read what you guys are saying in the chat. What's up, Charlie? Always a pleasure to have you around from Dallas, Texas. And another Dale or Dallas. Oh, sorry, Dallas. Dallas is sound guy. Hello from Texas. Mostly corporate work for me, using a M32R, which is one of my favorite console, seriously, to use from the M or X series. I look into the CL5 often, but that's a big price jump for me, and it's an older console, and wondering if this is what I should look at. Well, this is what we're gonna try to find out today, because I look at the DM7, I have a good understanding of the overall picture, but I didn't went into all the detail of the rack, because it has plug-in. Every console now has internal plug-in or premium rack, I think it's called, on the Yamaha side. So let's take a dive into this, and I want your guys' opinion. Where do you think this is landing? Is this too high of a price for what it is? Is this a steal of a price for what it is? Because I think the DM3 is a steal of a price for what it is. Really cool console. Not too much fluff. Size really matter in corporate event. So the DM3 with the Dente, to me, yeah, Really cool option on the DM3. Let's see if the DM7 is lending close to that. So, oh, you guys are making connection here. Come on, it's really cool. Okay. Maybe less people than usual on this one because I did not advertise this on the Wing Facebook group where I actually usually do my advertising for this live stream. So, guys, stick around. It will be a different beast than it usually is because today we're going to take a look at this. Hold on. We're going to take a look at this view right there. Ba-da-da-da. That's the website from Yamaha. I do not have a DM7 on hand. I don't know if this is mistaking, if the thumbnail or the title of this video is mistaking you guys in believing that I have a DM7. I do not have any connection with Yamaha whatsoever. So, no, I'm probably not going to get a DM7 for review. Or maybe if you guys ask them nicely, maybe they can send one out to me. But I do not expect them to just like even loan me a console just for fun. So there is a 4 model with expansion available. It's basically the same frame. It's basically the same base processing console that you extend a little more. But you have the compact version, you have the EX version, the EX compact, and the DM7. DM7, I believe, is the regular one, is the regular console, and the DM7 is like it's basically all the same thing with expansion module. More on that later. Stick around, guys. So, do we want to dive into sound, or let's take a look first at the model and what are the features that they offer. So, product information, we're going to start with the basic DM7. It's 120 mono channel. I was expecting something a little different, but let me see something. Let me see if I can get my chat here. Do you guys see the chat or not? Don't move. I'm just going to do this. Okay, you guys don't see the chat. Oh, yeah, you do. Okay, it's fine. I'm fine with having the chat in the view window. I don't mind that. So, it's a mid-high 96K console. Okay, so we're going to check that out for sure in a few seconds. But first, let's discover this together. I did not read into this at all. Not in the spec. I only watched the frame modification, basically, so I know a little bit what's going on here. But I want to go into detail here. The DM7 is 120 mono channel, 48 mix plus 12 matrices plus 2 stereo, and I'm gonna guess the buses are mono, so it's 24 stereo buses, 12 matrices and 2 stereo. A 12-inch display, which is a little bigger than what you got on a Wing. Fader, the basic model has 28, so 12 plus 4, so 2 section of 12 and a master section, and probably you can assign channel there. You can do some custom stuff there to have your like money channel or your lead singer always on hand. Analog I/O. In the back, you have only 32 inputs, so I guess you're gonna need to use the 144 dente in and out, the AES EBU 2 in 2 out, which is really a cool feature now to have a AES input. So when you are in a festival and you having some other guest sound engineer, you can just like give them a single XLR AES EBU in out, no conversion, we're good. It's only an 18 by 18 audio interface. Oh damn, it's fine. I mean, it's fine for backing track. If you are playing backing track for the band from a laptop, 18 track give you like enough of click track, stereo backtrack, some stuff mono to work on pretty much any show that I came across. Even the big one, like 18 tracks of playback is a lot. But yeah, okay. I would prefer to have like 64 or even 128 if possible, like on the Wing or other console, like to match basically the amount of in and out that you can have. But 18, it's a downer, but I guess it's going to be more than fine. Redundant power supply, are they swappable? And we can probably take a look at the picture in the back, and I can probably make that bigger. Are the power supplies swappable? Hold on, okay. No, there is two power supply, but they don't seem, they're not like computer power supply where you can take them off and replace them. This is something that I would like to see more and more on console, because let's be honest, a DM7 like this is going to last for a long time, like M7CL did, like LS9 did, PM5D, O3, O2R, I don't remember all of them. The good old O1V96 or the good old O1V Gray. All of those consoles are still functioning today. The one that the power supply did not burn up. So if it was an easy fix to just take a power supply out, plug it in a new one, maybe on some console they would last. They will have even more lifespan than they have today. Because after 20 years, roughly the power supply on these things start to go bad. So eventually, if somebody is listening, please give us a little more flexibility when it comes to power supply. Charlie said, I saw that USB interface seems to have a lot to do with external effect. External effect, okay. I don't know. We're not there yet. We're going to talk about effect later. But, okay. Power consumption, 240 watt, which doesn't really matter, honestly. You're never in a situation where the amount of watt coming out of a console matters to you. Like, not something that's small. Like, if it's under 1,000 watt, you don't have to worry about it, basically. So, that's the full-on, the DM7, the regular one. Under that, we have the compact version, which is pretty much the same thing, but it has smaller channel count to 72. 72 mono, still a decent amount of input, seriously. So it's basically that's the smaller version. That's like the brain of the machine, and all the other version, from what I understand, are just add-on expansion module. Like we have the DM7 control under here. Let's see. Anything else? 144 dente in and out. 18 audio interface, so redundant power supply too, so okay, good. Pretty much the same thing, except fader wise, you only have 16 total, so 12 plus 4. 12 plus 4 is fine to do band, small corporate event, small band, but yeah. It's enough if you're running a band off of DCA with your effect. You can have pretty much everything that you need. And you only have, realistically, only 8 finger to mix with. So 12 DCA to mix. A couple more input that you can probably assign on a custom page. And 4 main out. Seems like a nice footprint. Do we have the size? It's 18 by 12 by 22. So it's really small. It's smaller than a M32R for 72 mono channel, but you need to have dente or a Rio. Well, actually a Rio is over dente, but you need to have something. Yeah. Can one fader be stereo, or do you have to link a pair? That's a quality of life item I would like. Yeah. I'm gonna say I don't have the answer now. We're gonna dig into this a little more, but my guess is it's probably 2 channel linked together, because it's 72. They label it as 72 mono channel. So yeah, don't think so. Don't think everything can be stereo. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you need to sacrifice 2 channel and link that together. But if you're doing a custom layer on your console, you can probably just grab the left and get away with it if you just link everything together in the console. If you, on your custom fader, just put one, it should work, but it's a guess right now. I'm guessing. Don't quote me on that. What else? Okay, the control surface, or the control expansion of the surface. The first one that they offer here is the DL expansion control. It's basically for DAW, as I understand. It gives you 2 extra fader, 16 user-defined key, so maybe that's a good thing to have for live. 4 user-defined knob, scene memory key. So okay, that's the selling point on that. So if you are a musical and you recall a lot of snapshot, or I don't know what's the process behind the Yamaha on these ones, but if you recall a lot of snapshot or a lot of recall per show, this is probably the extra thing that they do not include that you want to spend money on. So you will have your update, your preview, store, recall, increase, decrease, monitor control for monitor A and B. So you have 2 monitoring, probably 1 for in-ear monitor and 1 for a floor monitor if you are doing live sound as a monitor engineer with that console. 1 panner, 1 jog wheel, and it has a external power supply for a total consumption of 20 watts. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what's going on here. There are software package. What's that? The broadcast package is a software that broadcast functionality to the DM7. So what do you mean? You have to pay? Or no, it's under product registration. So, oh, hold on. No. Do you have to pay to get more on the software? Function, mix minus, fader Q release, backstop PFL, audio follow video, source section mix mode, speakers, loudness meter, peak program. Okay, and 5.1 surround for future update. So you don't even have like all that stuff in the console. Do you need to pay for that? Like same thing for the theater package. You need the mix minus, 4-bank, dynamic EQ, actor library, DCA preset, DCA scene grid. I don't know what that is. MIDI output event. Okay. A little bit disappointed here. What's going on, Yamaha? You guys like decided to jump on the wagon of like not like giving everything in the console anymore? You have to buy extra plugin. This is something that I don't like. Well, I like to have the option to buy, but I don't like my console to have features that are not there behind a paywall. That sucks. For those of you who would like to interface your console with MIDI, you have an optional MIDI card. You also have optional ASCBU, so 8 in, 8 out. Right now MIDI is an option, so I don't remember seeing a MIDI port on the back, and GPIO will be hold on. Too fast on a Gatorade there. Okay. So MIDI GPIO function is for those of you who need GPIO function, if you need to trigger some other stuff or some stuff triggering on your side. Okay. Let's take a look at the back of the console and see if there are by default any MIDI on it. So if I'm doing this, you don't that's the DM7, so that's the regular one. You don't have any MIDI on it. You have GPI, I'm gonna say it's GPIO or GP okay, sorry. And you have a single option card, so you cannot add more than one option card on that console, but the Dente one is already built in, so that's a cool thing. You have TC is going to stand for time code, and work clock in and out. So if you want to clock with other stuff like video or lights, you can probably lock that in. And if you are doing time code from somewhere, you can probably input that into the console and having that recorded as a audio track on your USB track too. So I'm gonna guess it's LPT time code here, but don't quote me on that. Okay, so can we see the other models? Can we see the other more information, design, sound, expandability? Let's go check expandability and see what's going on here. So the only thing that you can add, I thought it was a different, more option than that. The only thing you can add is the control expansion and some plugin and some card. When I say only thing that you can add, I mean, come on. I was expecting to be one console be on the same frame. So let's go back to the top here. I was expecting all the console to be built on the same frame, and you basically select the size that you want. You have some plugin on there. I don't know how well you can see, but this is basically the list of plugin that I saw before. You have the Neve stuff like you had on the CL version. You have the multi-band compressor that you also add on the previously available console. Dynamic EQ, Pultec, and the Rev X series of reverb, which are really good. Well, were the best available in Yamaha back in the day. I would be curious to see what's going on here. Some other stuff like the FET limiter and the diode bridge compressor, they apparently coming from the Rivage PM, which is their bigger, more high-end broadcast console. So, okay, Dan Dugan automatic mixer. Up to 64 channel. That's really good. 64 channel Dugan mixing will be really fun to have in corporate events for those of you who are in the corporate event world. And yeah, that's basically it. The display head amp. Okay, no. Okay, so it clocks at 96K. We know that for sure. We knew that from Charlie. Thank you very much, Charlie, for saying that. Systems. Let's see what's going on in systems. This is where I seem to have see a feature that I really like. Let's move on to here. Live sound plus streaming. You can have multiple consoles linked together in Dante. Nothing new there. Theater mode where you have communication with stuff, but this is not what I'm looking for. This is the house of worship. You guys, I know there's a lot of you guys in House of Worship that do everything by yourself or having multiple stuff happening on consoles. Can I put that any bigger? I can. Basically, when you have a Rio connected to the console, to your you can basically split. This is where I want to go with this. Let's cut to the chase. You can take the console, the interface, left screen, right screen, and divide the console into two. So you can have access, everybody can have access to a single screen and do their own thing on each side. So let's say that you're doing monitor or you're doing front of house and monitor. You're doing monitor and broadcast. You're doing front of house and broadcast, or monitor front of house. You guys understand where I'm going with this. It's basically two. You basically split the control surface into two console, and you can deal your own stuff with it as long as you probably divide the channel. I don't know how that will work, but you probably need to divide the channel, or you take care of sorry, you take care everybody of the channel, and you can have two operator basically on the same console. So if you can have two mix A and mix B with the two stereo out, you can probably make yourself some really useful stuff out of a single console. So it's a single console to bring around. It's a single console to do your EQ on. But I would need to see what's going on here. But if I'm looking at, if I'm really looking closer to the image that they show here, there seem to be A and a B on the screen. So probably option for two versions of the same channel in every console when you split the interface. But that's probably just on the bigger one. Is it on the 7? Let's see what they have to say about that. Also worship. The function of the DM7 pair with the sound system of smaller church make announcing efficient with minimal DM installed in FOH can be used in split mode to turn into a combination of FOH and monitor mixer and put together a range of scenes individually. Monitor mix can be used to give artists the power to adjust their own monitor to their liking. The head amp naming and fader assign function to help save time and less experience while at the control monitoring in and out. Is the speaker okay? No, that's basically not giving me any information. Is it split? I would like to know if it's a single channel that you split, or it's just two people operating the screen independently. Because operating the screen independently is fine. It's a cool feature. You can do your own thing on your mix bus. Having everything split, basically double the processing, but you can have, well, you can probably split anyway. Let's say that nobody's going to run this console over the 60 input, so you can have double everything. But when I say that, I mean you have like front of house using input 1 to 60 and monitor using 61 to 120. You do your own thing. The only thing is that you have to share the gain, but other than that, it's going to be fine. And you can probably operate those two. You can operate two thing on the same surface, which is fine. But if things are split, you could have 2 times 120 input and run them independently on the same surface. That would be fun. With different scene management, it would be way fun. But I would not believe they went that route. Maybe prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Yamaha. Tell me that you guys are better than everybody else. Broadcast van, like we used to have back in the day, that nobody's doing anymore because it's too expensive, other than like the big TV shows. So that's basically it. What else can we talk about? What's new here? Specs. We gonna learn anything cool from here? We only have the function for the DM and the compact version, so it's 120 versus 72. Same amount of mix bus, same amount of everything else. Analog input 32 versus 16. 16 output is fun on the compact version because I can really see that console as a monitor console. So 16 physical output is fine. Only one channel of AES EBU on the first one. No input, just an output. What else? Everything else is pretty much the same. Dual power supply. Locking. Number of scene 500. Doesn't really matter. No preview, no preview. Digital gain. It's the same thing. It's basically the same thing. It's really close to be all the same thing. But that's not all the version. Now I want to know if all the version are the same or different. What's the DM7 main advantage over the Wing for front of house worship? Honestly, other than just having the option to do your broadcast from the same console, and the amount of input. Maybe depending on the quality of preamp that you're running your console at, you can hear a sonic difference. But if you are in a small venue, let's face it and say, it's way more expensive and not doing way more. Maybe doing some more, maybe doing better result. But seriously, if you are in a small room, it's not going to change much. Not a big difference. Basically, the selling point of the DM7 is the split feature. Okay. Let's go back to the overview. And what's the EX? What's the X? Oh, it's just the extender? Oh, that's just the extender. So it's not 4 consoles, it's 2 consoles. It's a DM7, the compact, with an extension or not. So you can have the compact with an expansion, and DM7 with an expansion. So the expansion, for those of you who would like a quick reminder, is just this module here, from what I understand. I was expecting more expandability in that. But that's a lot of cool feature. But seriously, yeah, I don't know how much this thing is. If anybody in the chat know the price of the expansion, is it worth to buy by itself? $6K for the extender. Yeah, man. That ecosystem seems to be expensive. Nothing wrong with that if you got the budget, but let's see what's going on here. Do we have more information about the user interface as an upgrade? Okay, versus the other stuff, which is really cool. The man, utility screen. Okay, that was there. Well, it's on it's on all the consoles. Advanced selected channel view. You're setting in your language. That's really cool for people who speaks in a different language than English. You can have all your stuff in your native language. I don't know how comfortable I would be to run a French version of a sound console, because that never happened to me before. And depending on what the terminology that they're using, I don't know if I'll be able to make my way around it, or I can probably just run it in English anyway. Okay, so maybe some information here. Split mode will allow you to use one mixer as if they were 2, even if you have one DM7 series console. The space limitation, you can mix FOH monitor just as you would in 2 separate consoles. So maybe it's a split. Or maybe you have to do channel sharing. That would be, yeah. The assisting, that suggested, hey, yeah, no, that's AI stuff. I'm not really into that. I don't think AI will ever take my job away. Could be wrong, but not looking like the human interpretation of what a mix is. I don't think can be beat by a computer. Could be wrong, but that's my understanding for now. The expansion control give you like everything that we said before. We read that part before. So, anything else that we should see? It's all on the same page. So yeah, that's the DM7. Is it worth it versus the Wing? Now that I see it, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's pop up the chat and have a conversation about that. What do you guys think about the DM? To me, it seems like It's not a bad console, but it seems to be a little pricey. If you already have a wing, or if you are in the market for a wing or a X32, I would believe it will be expensive. How much it is without the preamp? That's a really good question, but I don't think we will ever have the answer for that one, because I don't think Yamaha ever is going to do a version without like an ES version. Back in the day, we used to have M7CL and M7CL ES. ES was for ether sound, and you had no preamp in the back, just single, like a pair of Cat 5 connection in a card, and this is what you used to use to run a snake. Yeah, remember the M7CL? I don't think we'll ever see a smaller version of the DM. Maybe a DM5, bigger version of the DM3, or between the DM7 and the 3. But honestly, the DM7 shorter version would replace the QL series, where the DM7 full regular version will replace the CL series. So I don't know, man. I don't think they're gonna do anything under that, because 72 channel is not big, honestly. If you are running a bar, of course 72 channel makes no sense to you, but if you are like running a show with a band and you want to split some of your stuff, let's say that your band is a 32 input channel, patch list, which is not that crazy, with drums, backing track, and stereo guitars and stereo everything, it will make sense. I don't know, man. I don't know if 72 is that much, because if you double up, let's say you just split that into doing monitor and front of house, it becomes already like 32, 64 channel. That's a lot. So I guess we'll have to conclude after going for like 45 minutes on a rant about this. Seems interesting. Would I replace my wing with it? No. It will have to sound way, way, way better. And for the price, the price market between the two console is not, I believe, worth it. Plus the stage box, plus the everything. You get more I/O option with the wing. Exactly, Charlie. What's up, Dawn of Dream 97? Welcome. We're on the conclusion of our opinion here about the DM7. If you guys are not do not agree with me, please express yourself. I'm more than open to discussion here. Constructive criticism is always welcome, I think, in every scenario if you approach it correctly. So, yeah. I think the wing is still a winner here, especially for like a fifth of the price with a stage box. Some people can debate that the wing doesn't have much I/O, but for the price difference, you can buy a DL251 and you still have like a lot of money left. You can even buy a DL231 and still have a lot of money left. With two wing, basically, yeah, two wings and two DL251, 231, the split one. So you can have 48 real split analog split channels for your monitor and front of house console for less than the price of a DM7, or close. But with the wings, you would have road case included in them, and your snake to go in between them, and your power supply in case of a power drop off. So I don't know. Bonjour Patrick, welcome to the screen. Always a pleasure to have Patrick around. Thank you very much for being here. We need an X or M 32 V2 series that has a USB expansion capability, like the wing. Why would we need that? We got the wing. I think the M32 has to replace the way they are and do not need to be to have a V2. Just get a wing instead, I believe. Personal opinion. Patiently waiting for the new Midas stuff. I don't know what's gonna happen with the Midas stuff. I really want to see the 96 Air. I'm gonna do the upgrade as soon as that thing come out. Spend time with the Elenite Adventus yesterday. It has some feature I like using, like the Automix often. You know that the Automix is available on the wing, right? Dots of Dreams says the Aventus is confusing me. Just buy a D-Live C series. It's like a neuter D-Live in Global Tech Point. And honestly, I saw two last weekend. I saw the Adventus on monitor in front of us for a band. They were actually a friend of mine, and they said that they just got those consoles brand new in the box. They smell new, and it seems fine. I was nothing against my friend, but I was not more impressed than what I did with the wing. We were in a big white tent with a line array PA, so we all struggle a little bit to get that sounding good, but honestly the results were debatably the same between the wing and the Adventus overall. It sounded maybe a little cleaner on the Adventus side, but I was running the wing with a DL251, and I had a problem personally myself. The way I approached my bus compression on that show was not right, so I should have redone my show, and I didn't because I didn't have time. But as soon as I have a long sound check, I will redo my show with that band. All the channel strips are good. It's just my bus processing, because for a change I decided to go with 3 main bus going into a matrix, all my instrument, all my backing track into a bus. Well, all my instrument into a bus, all my backing track, and all my vocal, all 3 into different bus, and compressing that at different level and sending that to a matrix, compress that another level. But when I did the sound check, I was a little too generous on the gain, so my band started to play, and I was getting really hot level. Nothing bad, nothing distorting like on the clipping side, but it was pushing the compressor to the point where I was setting the threshold to 0, and I was still compressing a little bit. So when the band kicked in, I had too much compression going. Anyhow, yeah, the Adventus is fine. I'm not a fan of the Elenite stuff. Never was, even in the analog day. For some reason, those consoles just do not resonate well with me, or I don't see any advantage for a price. So that's pretty much it. You can only have Dente or USB with the M. Boatsman, let's see, with the wing. Yes, I would like to have M32C that could plug into the other room and use USB there and pipeline that over a Dente to the wing. You can do it with an AS50 port. I'm doing this all the time. One of the band that I'm touring with has a lot of backtrack. I'm running AX32 core next to the drummer that is also used as a monitor split, so the band are on their own. They're just doing their own thing, and I'm using it as a sound interface and just use the port on my wing to basically take the B port out of the X32 core and send it back to me in the front of house. So that's working. Yeah, but there's a workaround for that, Charlie. Buses goes quick on the Adventus. Did you see the new Tascam console? Well, we took a look at that the other day, but I would probably need to take a look at the Tascam console eventually. Look like a Digico or a D-Live hybrid. Okay. We could use only LED in my old church because of the channel strip construction versus Mackie. Really? No reason. I don't see any reason why. I'll spend some time looking into the wing. It does have feature that interests me. Honestly, the wing, for the price, and I'm not talking about globally, for the price, it's an awesome console that has feature that nobody else can offer for that price. After that, is it the best sounding console out there? Probably not. Is it fine to get you around pretty much everything? I would say yes. Is the physical construction of the console the best? Probably not. But if you don't beat it, it's gonna work for a while. So, sorry guys, the light over there is really bright. We need to have a cap on. But yeah, the wing is a tough price to performance mark to beat. It's a bit annoying that you can't use each channel as a source for sidechain compression on a bus. Can you? I know you cannot use a bus as a sidechain on a channel, but I gotta work around that because I was using crowd mic on Friday with a band, and I said I would like to have my instrument bus to duck down on my crowd mic, because when the band start to play, I want the crowd mic to go away. I want the mix of the musician to be in their face as much as possible. So my workaround was to just drop a copy of that bus into an unused channel. Workaround, I use like channel 48, set the source of that channel to be my bus 1, which is my instrument bus, and that did the trick. But it's a workaround. It's you have to be creative to get that working. Start to go back to the X32 after using the wing. I still like the M32. I'm still rocking a lot of M32 nowadays. Do you have a video about using the wing for live and broadcast mix? Best way to setting it up. I have a video where I show how to use the wing for broadcast, and I give out a couple options, but I don't know if it's the best video that I ever did. But I have one. Where I explain how to broadcast with a wing, but it's always a matter of compromise between the console. Between the console being dedicated to front of house versus being dedicated to broadcast, and it's two different approach of mixing. So my suggestion would be to use two buses, one for your main, one for your stream, and if you can live with EQ to be the same on both channel, go with that. If not, doing a split, like you basically limit yourself to 24 channel, and you do the same thing for the broadcast. You double up the amount of input. You only have to share the gain, and after that, broadcast world could do their thing, live front of house can do their thing. But 24 channel on the wing honestly is close to 30 or 40 input when you take into consideration all your stereo stuff. So it's an option, but I got a video where I show a couple options. If it's not complete enough for you, go take a look at it. Leave me a comment down below saying I should upgrade that because it's not up to speed anymore, and it will give me a reminder to do so. As soon as I got some free time, I will start to do some wing video, guys. Trust me, I want to do some, but I'm so overwhelmed with show right now and working so much that I don't have time to do YouTube stuff other than just being here live with you, which is a good time for me to give you a reminder about liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and make sure that you ring the bell so you know when I go live every Monday. Usually every Monday at 1:30 p.m. Because of the shooting that I had, video shooting that I had this morning, I was not able to make it at 1:30. Well, actually, I was home at 1:20. So setting that up, get my lights going, set up the OBS session, did not have time for that. So, yeah. Make sure that you like, subscribe. You know the YouTube jazz. You guys know what we're talking about. Input and output, getting tired of linking is frustrating. I got into the LV1 a little bit, but I couldn't go all in. Shadow and custom layer were a huge plus. Wing has some of that feel. Some of that feel. Yeah, it's the wing is really custom for what it is, price wise. And I'm curious to see what the LV1 stuff is looking at. I didn't spend a lot of time with it, and I would like to spend more time with the LV1 stuff. So if anybody at Wave watching this video, hit me up. I want to know what's happening with the LV1. Maybe you guys can give me a demo. If you have any idea who I should talk to at Wave, also send me an email. I would like to get in contact with those guys. I just don't know anybody. I'm just a small-time YouTuber that talk about live sound every Monday here on YouTube. Okay. I also would love to see the ability of having independent gain control, 48 volt, and phase on the wing when using stereo channel. We'll see what happens with that. Honestly, I think it's not an impossible feature to get, but I think they probably want to simplify the user interface regarding that. So please be comprehensive that the price range and the market for those console have some limitation. This is one of those limitations that marketing wise they don't want to overcome, because having stereo channel in most scenario it's working just fine to have same EQ, same everything on both sides. The only time that I really feel that I would like to have different low cut and high cut is when I'm doing a piano, and I don't do real piano that often anymore. And if I were to do this, I would just go like 3 channel on my piano, go low, high, and the tail mic, because every time that I'm doing a piano, I don't have that microphone, but I'm using a bass drum microphone in like one of the hole on the harmonic table of the piano. If you guys have some time to mic a piano, take a bass drum microphone, a bit of 52, Sennheiser 902, whatever, and stick that with a piece of foam into the middle hole of the harmonic table of a piano, and put it as close as possible to the wood plate in the bottom. You'll have a great time doing this. I'll do it sometimes with violins and choirs. Yeah, it's because you try to cheap down on the channel, but yeah, on choirs it makes sense. On violin too, if violin should be mono. You should have everybody as a mono input. Is there a way to get FX REN to a bus send and to a monitor bus? Yes, there is. On the wing, there is actually you can take any bus and send it back into any of the first 8 bus. 9 through 16 cannot be sent, or you cannot send a bus into 9 through 16, but you can send your bus into matrices if that's another option. That's the executive decision that was made from the bus send to another bus. You have the first 8 bus that you can send into. After that, you have the first 8 matrices, or the only 8 matrices from that. But there's a workaround if you want to send any of your bus into another bus and all your matrices. You just need to take your effect bus and use it as a channel source, like if you were to use a effect return. That way you can take your vocal reverb and send it anywhere in the console. That's a workaround that would work. That's something that would work as a workaround on the Wing. Agreed. Patrick's agreeing. Did 8-string on 4-channel the other day. Trick is to collapse the stereo channel back to the middle. Yes, actually, there's a lot of stuff that you can do with the width and pan on the Wing. One of my friend the other day, Dominic, called me and said, "Hey, I would like to, use the piano as a stereo input, but I would like to only send the left, not the left hand, the right hand in the monitor, because I don't need the low end one that much. I really want the articulation of the right hand." So I said, take the width, bring that back to 0, and pan it. It will, in your monitor bus send, decide on how much of a microphone or how much of a stereo fill you take. So if you put it in the center, it's gonna go nothing, and if you drop it to the left, it will take that as it will take basically the right channel of that stereo source and make it a mono source that you can send into a mono monitor. Hope that's gonna help somebody else. Do you have on video on that? Or I actually have a video on that too. It's called go take a look at my early stuff on the Wing, how to create effects, on the Wing, and how to create effects return on the Wing. I have 2 video about that. They're probably old. Let me know again if they are accurate or not still. So on that note, guys, I'm really tired. I need to grab some hour of sleep. That's going to be it for the live stream today. We've been going for an hour talking about the DM7. I think it was a still fair turnaround for that. What do you think? Am I wrong? Did I miss something about the DM7 that would make it replace your Wing or replace something else? Do you think it's fairly priced? Because that's really what matters. The Wing is a better option versus the DM7 because it's way cheaper. But is it as good sounding? Probably. Is it as portable? Probably not. We'll see. We need to wait for because I see it. We need to wait for the HG96 Air and a smaller 96 Air and a little wing rack wing in the Wing compact and all that stuff that we wish that we should have. But seriously, we saw some leak of the HD96. For those of you who don't know, the HD96 Air is the 21-inch touchscreen from the HD96 from Midas with no fader on it and just a smaller right section to the screen. It's give you access to pretty much everything in the console, but you only have to mix with fader on the screen instead of having fader in front of you. But for something that powerful that fit in the back of my car, I'll take it. I'll do the trade-off. On that note, time for me to go. Thank you very much, guys, for being here with me. If you did not like that video, like that video. If you are not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you ring the bell so you know when we go live every Monday. Also, if you want to support me in what I do, think about becoming a member of the channel. And if you want to have some one-on-one time with me, some bro bounding, you can become a super member. And every super member of the channel get 1 hour per month of free time with me, with my video conference call setup, usually with my console in the back, with my top camera view, so you can see my screen. Or we can talk about anything else for an hour every month. You just have to send me an email when you want to do that and you are a super member. I just verify that you are a super member and I check your name on the list for that month. So guys, thank you very much for being here with me. I'm wishing you all a good week, and I'll see you next week. See ya.